And
Yeah.
to be honest, even though there are a lot of examples of decentralization or a lot of examples of DAO governance on Ethereum or a few other blockchains, there's even more examples of DAOs gone wrong or decentralization gone wrong, where as the product or as the protocol decentralizes, it doesn't go forward, right? The users don't grow, the project doesn't grow. It seems like no one's maintaining it. And there's a very slow turnaround for any decision because there is this decentralized way of decision making. So there's a lot of learning from that. I would say like one key learning that we drew as one of our co-founders. So I mentioned one of the co-founder was my ex-coworker at IDEO, and she is the design mastermind. The other co-founder is a veteran developer who used to build for Ethereum and for projects on Ethereum. So having been in the industry for the space for a really long time, I think one of the things we decided is that we will decentralize, and decentralization is actually the goal right from the start, that we would decentralize fully in 3 years, and now we're on year 2. And that we will decentralize not immediately to a full democracy, but in a gradual manner. So if anyone who is listening, who's thinking about kind of designing your own crypto protocol and designing your own tokenomics, for example, one thing to keep in mind in your tokenomics is not just how users or how token holders can extract value from your design of the product, of the tokenomics, but also like when will they be able to extract that value. And ideally, it is along the same timeline as the decentralization progression that you're thinking about. So I will say decentralization is something that you should always keep in mind right from the start. And this is important because of how much it stays true to the ethos of crypto, of joint ownership, of consensus driven, but also because of safety reasons, actually. As you, Ro, you may know, or the listeners may know, there are a lot of eyes from regulators on crypto. Recently, there is the Tornado Cash news, right? And I mean, there are a lot of news every month happening in crypto. There was the Three Arrows news, there was the Terra news, right? I would be surprised if these news didn't draw regulators in. But one of the ways to make sure the team and the treasury that the team's product is creating stays safe is through decentralization, is through showing that decentralization makes sure that this protocol does not meet the Howey test. So if you're interested, look up Howey test, HOWEY test. And if you're interested in thinking about how to decentralize but doing it gradually, one of the thought leaders in this space, his name is Mark Boyron. So he just became chief legal officer for Polygon, and previously he was chief legal officer for a protocol that has some similarities to Orca. So decentralization, very, very important, and you want to think about doing it slowly, and you want to think about designing it. Don't take a playbook from another protocol and just applying it to you, because the nature of every protocol is different. Maybe for Orca, the community team is very well-trained, very regulated. They have a set of things that they know what to do. They're self-directed, so they're easily transitioned into the DAO. They could be the first team to transition. But maybe for some other protocol, their community team is like 5 mods who have never met each other. They get paid $10 a week. Then once you transition them and there's no one managing them or maintaining them, it could just fall apart. But I think thinking about the different functions of any business and thinking about how to make sure that this function of the business can run as autonomously as possible is always the right way to think about it. And another piece of consideration is how much does it cost to run this function autonomously, and where does that money come from? And that goes into actually your tokenomics design, right? So your protocol is generating money. Where does that money go? Does that money go to the continuous maintenance and sustainability of this protocol? Or does this money go towards the token holders? And there is a tension there, because if you give more money to token holders, or if you reward token holders too soon and too much, there is not a lot left for you to maintain the protocol at its healthy operating state, which actually means in the long run, the token holders get less.